Well, let me take us back to a much nicer time, January 1998. In the middle of the Arvo on a filthy hot Queensland summer's day. There I was sitting, I had the house to myself, watching TV and enjoying a beer in my ARL footy shorts and not much else. Perfect Queensland afternoon when two bikes rolled into my driveway, motorcycles that is. A clapped out old XV1000 Yummy carrying a wiry bearded goblin and a Quacker Vulcan 1500 with a giant dressed like a banker that's just knocked off for the week. Except it's Saturday afternoon. That's weird. I go out and introduce myself and say g'day, and these blokes say that they're mates of my uber religious uncle. Great, I think. They say they met him at some camp in New South Wales, and I thought, yeah, that'd be right. And they're here to deliver a book on his behalf. Damn it all, I can't get away from the long reach of Uncle Terry. Think I'd better be hospitable, so I offer them beer, spirits, or even our El Cheapo Matthew Lang wine, which would strip paint off a house. Okay, they refuse everything. Something wrong with these dudes. Tea? No. Coffee? No. Soft drink? No. Oh, come on. Really something wrong with these guys. Water? Would you like a glass of water? Yeah, that'd be lovely. Bingo. Weirdos. What Queenslander doesn't want to drink a beer on a day like this? But whatever, water floats your boat. We talk bikes, we look at bikes, we talk bikes again, sip beverages, alcoholic and non-alcoholic, and have a great conversation, and then they say, bless you mate, and ride off. They seem like good blokes, but what the hell was that all about? Weird. Of course, there's a lot more to the story than this, and some of you have heard it on and off over time, but 12 months later to the date, I walked into a church for the very first time in my life ever of my own accord. And there they are, the hobgoblin and the giant, standing at the door, big smile. Simon, we've been expecting you. Whoever gives a cup of cold water to one of these little ones in the name of a disciple will by no means lose their reward. Whoever welcomes you welcomes me, and whoever welcomes me welcomes the one who sent me. This is my story. This is the story of Abraham, the story of Rebecca, the story of Rahab, the story of the Samaritan woman at the well in John chapter 4. This is the story of Alban. A priest rocks up to his house in dire straits. Alban welcomes him into his home and gives him shelter. It costs Alban everything in the end. But the reward that welcome yielded in his life continues to flow out to this day, even here 1,700 years and 15,000 kilometres removed. A cup of cold water to the right person can change your life and can transform the world. There will be a reward guaranteed. How significant is our welcome of others? A bookbinder and the former chief buyer for Coles Queensland came to my house on that January summer's day in Jesus' name, and they were welcomed. The risk was all theirs. They didn't know what they were going to get. And the reward, all mine. In a dry and dusty land with no water on tap, giving someone a cup of cold water was the most basic act of welcome and hospitality. And I'm talking about ancient Judea now, not Queensland in the 90s. Jesus mentions little ones. Maybe he's talking about kids. Maybe he's talking about the people in society that are thought of as nothing. Either way, he's talking about people who wouldn't normally be given the simple dignity of the most basic welcome. Yet if someone does give them the simple dignity of the basic welcome, surprisingly, there will be an enormous reward in that for them from God. Because the little ones matter to him. They are on his business. Little people and little acts are big in God's thoughts. Jesus, in Matthew chapter 10, has handpicked fishermen, tax collectors, religious extremists, sneering doubters, church treasurers, and a bunch of losers that have no description whatsoever. They are to be his emissaries of the true King of Israel and of the living God who created all things. They are not famous prophets. They are not renowned, righteous and holy people. Folks fall over each other running to welcome those types of people and get the rewards and status that comes with making them welcome. Yet those who welcome this motley crew welcome Jesus, welcome the King, and welcome the God who sent him. What dignity does he afford these people who are nothing in society's eyes? Same goes for you. What dignity does Jesus afford you beyond that which society sees in you? Now, we would do well to think about the way in which you and I welcome people and the significance of that in church here, in our homes, down the street, thinking each encounter with another person is in some way receiving God himself. And that's talked about in many other scriptures and many other stories we find in there. But here in Matthew chapter 10, Jesus is talking about how people receive you. And how that sets off a chain reaction of blessing that will change the world. You are sent to proclaim the kingdom of heaven and that it's come here in the here and now. You are sent to make that kingdom visible on earth by curing the sick, raising the dead, cleansing the lepers and casting out demons. This message and these actions will be divisive, but don't be afraid. Doing this work will be dangerous, even deadly, and definitely costly. Yet as you go about Jesus' business, those who welcome you, welcome him, and welcome the living God into their lives. Notice the reward isn't for you as you go about God's work. It's for the people who receive you. The risk is all yours, and the reward all theirs. But who knows how that will transform their lives and their world as you go out amongst the people. You are emissaries of the true and living God who created all things and of his King Jesus. You are an embodied means of God's blessing in this world. Whoever gives you even a cup of cold water because you come in Jesus' name will be rewarded by him. And you can bank on it. The Lord be with you.